welcome to another video. Today we are doing a Q&A. If you ever want to be featured in one of these videos, make sure that you're following me on Instagram because that's where I asked for all these questions and you guys sent in a lot, so let's jump right into it. The first question we got is, I want to be an OnlyFans model, but for some reason my country or the residence is not there. What to do? I don't know too much about which countries OnlyFans is allowed to be in. I would check out Fansly or Frisk or Slushy, all of the above. Just try and find a platform where you are allowed to be hosting your content. OnlyFans is pretty worldwide, but I'm not sure. I would double check with them, and if you are able to, like your country does allow it, and for some reason it's not showing up, I would contact support for OnlyFans. What is the last book you read that deeply impacted you? Who, what motivates you? Ooh. Okay, so I recently read The 10X Rule, and I think that it was a really impactful book if you're into business books, because it talks about the motivation and the effort that you put in is what you're gonna get out. And if you're thinking 10 times ahead, if you're thinking and putting in 10 times the work and 10 times the effort and 10 times everything, then you're gonna see results. So you wanna put in so much effort into the things that you want, and you can make those things happen for yourself. It's just a matter of really how bad you want something. So the book really impacted me in a way that allowed me to see things from another perspective. It allowed me to see things from an outsider and look at myself and think, am I actually putting in the effort that somebody who's already in the place I want to be is or put in? Hopefully that makes sense. It was a really good book and I highly recommend it to anybody and everybody. How to put pricing in your videos or custom videos for the first time as a new creator. I did make a whole video on how to set up your OF profile. I will link that video right here, but in general, there should be just an icon that you can add a custom price to your content if you are sending out pay-per-view messages. If you are doing a post on your actual page, if you have a subscription price on your page, you cannot put a price tag on a piece of content on your page. You can only do that in the messages or in pay-per-view messages, in mass messages, those type of thing is where you can add a price tag to your content. But if you have a subscription page, you can't put priced content on your page. If you have a free page, you can, and it will be just, again, like a little money icon that you can add a price to. If you need step-by-step help, I would really recommend messaging me. You can email me at alanah@alanahcole.com, and I will send you my consultation options. So if you want some one-on-one help and support, I think that's gonna be the best bet for you. Is there anyone in your life you've had to cut out because they didn't agree with you doing OnlyFans? Yes and no. When I first started OnlyFans, I was like talking to people. I wasn't in a full-on relationship, but in the first like 2 years, I think, or year of me doing OnlyFans, I, was dating around, and obviously I would tell people when I first met them because I don't keep this private. I'm not ashamed of it, so I put it out there. And obviously you're gonna learn pretty quick if you follow me on Instagram or like any of my social medias. So I just put it out there right away, and I had a couple of people that I dated or like went on dates with, and they were not about it. They were not interested. So in that case, yes, like those were the people that I didn't continue dating. In the beginning, those are the type of people I had to cut out. As far as like family and friends, I never had to cut out any family and friends. I am pretty lucky. I feel like my family and friends are very open-minded, and that's the type of people I like to surround myself with. So I kind of knew going into this that I would be fine as far as that. I don't want to even be around people that are closed-minded and like would judge me or like not want to be friends with me anymore because of what I do. That's just not the type of people I like in my life. As long as I'm not hurting anybody, I don't see a problem with what I'm doing. So I would just like, I don't know, I feel like I wouldn't even mesh with people that thought that there was something wrong with it, if that makes sense. So I don't even have people like that in my life anyways. So I didn't really have to cut out anyone, and I totally feel for you if you have family or friends that are not on board with what you're doing or that you feel like you need to cut out. But I promise you it'll probably be better in the long run that you don't have people like that in your life anyways. Yeah, that's my thoughts. What platforms are best for video and phone in a girlfriend experience thing? So for OnlyFans girlfriend experience, I like to keep it just on the platform, but I would recommend Slushy if you're looking at that type of scenario because they allow you to do video calls. I just think that that's probably better for the girlfriend experience type of stuff. But you could also do Snapchat and just charge them to your PayPal or to Venmo or whatever. If you wanted to do like phone calls and things like that, there's a platform called Night Chat, which I have not tried, so I'm not recommending it, but I've just heard about it. And then there's a platform called Friendly, and I do recommend Friendly. I have a whole video about Friendly, and you can do video calls, you can do phone calls, you can do texting and all of that. So that is probably where I'd recommend that sort of thing. I'll link my Friendly video as well, so you can check it out. Do your parents know about your OF? If so, how is your relationship with them now? So yes, my mom knows about my OF. I told her about a year into it, I think, because my sister had talked about it with her, and my mom, like, I never thought to even bring it up because it was just like, I mean, I just felt like it was irrelevant. Like, why do I need to bring it up with her, kind of? Like, I'm an adult? I don't know. That's originally how I felt about it. But my sister and her had a conversation, and my mom said, oh, I wish Alanah would bring it up with me. So then I brought it up with her, and I was like, hey, just wanted to let you know this is what I'm doing. This is what it's like. You know, I kind of mentioned it as sort of like a individual's Playboy. Like, if I was a Playboy model, but it's my own account and I, like, you know, do all of the stuff for it. I kind of described it as that because at first that's kind of what it was. Now I more describe it as, I guess, like a personal, like a private P-hub. You know what I mean? Like, it's like your own version of that. I don't know what I would describe it as, but that's how I described it in the beginning to her. And she said, oh, I wish you were like more the photographer instead of the model for it. But other than that, she really didn't say anything. And like I said, I came from a really open-minded family. I grew up around San Francisco, California, which is like obviously it's a very wild place. If you know anything about San Francisco, like people are like literally walking around nude all the time. Like it is crazy over there. Anyways, it's just like an open-minded place. And I think that that's where my family comes from. Like everyone's kind of like, okay, do your thing. Like I don't need to know about it. My dad passed away, so he must know about it, right? He hasn't said anything yet. But, okay, I'm losing my mind. Yes, my family knows about it. I've talked about it with my aunt before, and she is so cool about it. I've actually talked about it with one of my friends growing up, her mom, and she was like, I'm so proud of you. I feel like you're doing big things. And I think my family and friends like see that I'm doing more than just this. Like I'm using this money to build businesses and to teach other people and to just grow as a human and learn like about entrepreneurship. Most of my family and friends have really saw as a good thing in my life that I've been able to accomplish a lot with. So yeah, everyone's been really great. Like I said, my aunt was really cool about it, and we had a whole discussion about it, and she was like, I don't see what's the issue. If you know you're a grown adult, you could do what you want, and if you're not hurting anyone, then I support you in doing what you want to do, you know? So it's been really cool actually having those conversations with my family members, because in the beginning it was something I was like a little more private about and didn't really want to have those conversations because I felt like they were going to be uncomfortable, but they haven't been uncomfortable. They've been really good. And I think also because I've had 4 years experience now talking about it with new people that I meet or with friends, that now I can talk about it really openly with my family, and I feel super confident because I'm confident in what I'm doing and I'm proud of what I'm doing. So I think that just comes with time and experience before you can really talk about these things and feel good about it. But I know that in the beginning it can be a little bit stressful to bring up, and honestly, they'll bring it up with you. And if they don't bring it up with you, then you don't really have to have that conversation. I have mentioned it before. I don't think that it's healthy to hide this part of you, but I also don't think it's completely necessary to like broadcast it to your whole family. I just don't see a point in that. Also, my like chosen family, like my best friend's parents, her mom knows, and she's talked to me about it, and she's voiced her concerns about like safety and all that. And I've told her, hey, you know, as long as I'm doing my best to be safe, it's the same as a celebrity or a YouTuber or just anybody in the spotlight. Like there are gonna be fans that are, you know, maybe crossing boundaries, and you just have to make sure you take precautions and move like that. And other than that, she doesn't have a problem with it. She just just wants me to be safe, and I think that's her biggest concern. When you were a sugar baby, how did you know who was legit about it and not? So as I mentioned before, I was a sugar baby for like not that long, and it was only when I first moved to LA, and I felt like that was something that wasn't very safe, and that where I didn't know who was legit or not, and I ran into instances where people didn't want to pay you for their time and stuff. And so, to be honest, I'm not someone to ask about sugar babying, especially when it comes to like in-person stuff. Like, that is not my forte. That's why I got out of it. I didn't feel comfortable with it. It wasn't something that I liked and enjoyed, and I wouldn't recommend because I didn't like it. But that's not to say that it didn't work for somebody else or that you wouldn't like it. So I would find YouTube videos about that if that's the route you want to go in. If you're talking about like online sugar daddies, most of those people that message you on Instagram are a scam. I will link my scam video right here because I did a whole video about scams. I think that there's just so many scams online. So don't trust anybody. If you have to send money to them for them to send you money, that's a scam. If they're not just willing to send you the money, then they're not going to send you the money. That's why I think that everything should go through OnlyFans, just because if they're going to pay you, they're going to pay you. There's no like ifs, ands, buts, or questions about it. If they are going to pay you, they're going to pay you. That's how you know that they are legit. There should be no, oh, I don't have this app, I don't have that app. Well, get the app. If you're legit about paying me and being my sugar daddy, then you're going to pay me. And that's the end of the story. That's how I would go about it. And, don't feel like, oh, well, I don't want to lose this, sugar daddy if maybe he's going to pay. There's going to be plenty of people that will pay you and that don't need to go around this corner and bend that corner and bend backwards and pay him that and you pay, and then, it should be straightforward. What do you love most about yourself? I love this question. I was watching a podcast and it was something about loving yourself, and they asked, how much do you love yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? And someone said like 8, someone said 7, whatever. Someone said like, I think I'm a 9. I almost love myself fully or whatever. And when I thought about that question, sorry, I'm going on a little tangent here, but when I thought about the question, when I thought about that question, I decided, like, I do love myself 100%. I love myself 10 out of 10, 100%, but that doesn't mean that I'm, like, perfect or that everything about me I love. It just means, just like you would love, like, your mom, your sister, your dad, your cousins, or whoever, like, your best friend, your wife, you love them 100% for who they are, even with their flaws. So it doesn't mean that I don't have flaws, but I do love myself like 100%. And something that I really, really love about myself is how open-minded I am and how I really try to see things from other people's perspectives. And I think just overall, I'm a good person and I have a good heart and I care about people. And that's why I like to teach people. That's why I like to make YouTube videos. That's why I like to connect with people. Like, I really like to get deep with people. And that's something that I care about and that I really love about myself. I don't know why that's making me emotional. But yeah, that's what I really love about myself. How do you pick a niche, and can you have more than one? I'm currently editing this video and it is such a long video. There are so many good, juicy questions that I want to answer. So to see the answer to this last question and a bunch of other questions, stay tuned for part 2. And with that all being said, I will see you in that next video.